Coming for you next time.
Drop dead, I'll take that.
Like a child. Pages? That's from 5.
Huh?
What is that? What is it? 20 pages? This one's 5.
That's because we broke up each page into a quarter, into 4 quarters.
It's not going to be this short. Where's the instructions?
Now let's take a look at the first page of your proposal, which will be more like a cover page. Now you will follow this format, and I will place a word copy of this proposal on the end drive so that you don't need to recreate it. Only point which I would like to make here is the title of your proposal or the title of your thesis. Typically, whenever we write a title, it should be very brief, and it should just tell you the main direction of your research or in which topic you are doing the research. And basically, our university requires that the total length of the title should not be more than 30 words. So you have to make sure that once you write your title, make sure it is within 30 words. Now there are some things in your title. For example, if you are saying a comparative study of China, Hong Kong, or Asia, then basically that's the scope of your research, and you don't need to write it in your title. So title of your research could be a safety subcontractor for construction projects. It could be waste minimization at construction sites, or maybe energy codes for buildings. Something very brief. It will just tell the main area of your research. After that, it will be your name, your committee chair. So for this study abroad thesis, I will serve as the committee chair for everyone, and Professor Kramer and Michael Heim will be your committee members. So you just need to write these names as it is. After that, you can see that again we have the title for this research, and then the background section. Background section tells you that why that research is important or why you are conducting that research. So it should be very brief, maybe 2 or at the most 3 paragraphs, where you need to outline the need for your research, that why you conducted that research. Sometimes you can start it with a literature review and indicate that what's the knowledge gap. For example, if the literature review tells you that this is the research which has been conducted and these are the issues which are unresolved or no answers are present, then that could become your background of your research. So basically that will set up the foundation for your research. And again, you can write it in your words or get the citations from literature. So if you look here, this proposal was prepared to identify that how building information modeling could be used for lead rating process. And if you read this background, in the first paragraph, it talks about that what are the issues with current CAD-based systems. So for example, if a contractor or an architect wants to use a CAD-based system for lead rating assessment, then what could be the problems he or she can face. And then in the second page, in the beginning, it talks about what is building information modeling and how building information modeling could be used for lead rating process. So if you read here, basically it really sets up the foundation. First of all, it talks about that what are the problems in the existing systems. Then it talks about the new technology and how that new technology could be used to solve the problems of the past. Once you define your background, then the next section is aim of your research. Aim means that what is the ultimate goal of your research? What you want to do with your research? What would be the end product of your research? So typically, an aim is the expanded form of your research title, where in a single sentence you define the main purpose of your research as well as its final product. So for example, if you read here, the aim of this research is to investigate the viability of BIM for sustainability analysis during the design and pre-construction stages of a building facility and its use for lead rating determination. So it's basically expanding the topic. First of all, it is telling you that it will be used for sustainability analysis during design and pre-construction stages. So it is also a little bit defining the scope of the research, that it will be only focused on design and pre-construction phases. And second, you are only investigating building facilities, which means other civil or construction projects will not be investigated. After that, you define the aim. The next thing are the objectives of your research. So in objectives, basically what you do, you divide the aim in 2 or 3 tangible goals which you plan to achieve. So for example, our main goal was to see that how BIM could be used for the lead rating analysis. And its objectives was that first of all, we want to see what are the pros and cons of BIM-based sustainability analysis. Because before utilizing a technology, you would like to see that what are its advantages and disadvantages. Second thing which you can notice is development of a mapping framework to establish relationships between BIM and lead rating process, which means that we know that what are the capabilities of BIM and how the lead rating process could be performed. So what are the connections between BIM and lead rating process? And third objective is demonstration and validation of the framework through a case study. So basically, whenever you define your research, after defining the research aim, you need to divide it in 2 or 3 tangible goals. So tangible goals will be sort of 2 or 3 mini projects which you will do. Because always when you divide it in smaller parts, it would be a lot more easier for you to conduct the research. So for example, if your research is related with site utilization, you can divide it in 3 objectives. One could be related with materials management. You can set up the objective that how you will investigate how the materials management could be done at construction sites. Second objective could be related with equipment management. And the third could be related with personnel management or safety. So if I go back to the hierarchy, first of all, you start with a title, which is brief but tells you the main theme of your research. Then title is expanded into research aim. And for research aim, you can divide it in different objectives. So that could be objective 1, objective 2, and objective 3. Sometimes it is also possible that instead of setting up objectives, you can set up some key questions which your research will try to answer. So for example, instead of setting up the objectives, you can set up 3 or 4 questions whose answers you are looking to find out through your research. Now the second handout which I provided you, it also has several examples of research aim and objectives, which you can see here. Like take a look here. The research aim would be to investigate benefits, risks and challenges of BIM for electrical subcontractors. And its objectives is, first of all, to investigate what is the current status of BIM adoption in the electrical construction industry. Which means that before investigating its benefits,